So good to see you back safe and sound and a champion again, times two.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel real yet. Not quite.
I'm sure. I mean, like you just got back, so it's
Yeah, yeah, today's my first full day back home. It was a shit show, trying to get home, but we're here finally.
yes, it's awesome. It's awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for those who are tuning in. We are live. We've got Miss Chelsea Dion, and we're gonna go right into the questions. So again, congratulations on winning the Europa Pro, and
Thank
now
you.
you're going back to the Olympia. So what does winning another pro title mean to you?
Well, it kind of helps me feel kind of less of like an imposter almost because I keep like constantly thinking like, oh, last year was just a fluke. Like you just happened to win Tampa and you just happened to place ninth at the Olympia. And so winning this show really kind of made me realize like, okay, like stop doubting yourself. You are meant to be here. You're not just like getting here by chance.
Yeah.
So it's been great. And I do want to say, I saw you started this Queens of Olympia thing, and I was like, oh man, like she's starting it this year, and this year I don't plan on competing and stuff like that. So, because that was the plan this year. And so it feels really good to be here.
Oh, well, thanks for, I mean, like just hearing the feedback of everyone that's been paying attention, it means a lot to me because I know everybody's got their own thing and everybody's focused on, either competing or what they have going on. So the fact that you notice, and I know you were busy even before you decided to get into full show mode, I appreciate that. So
Yeah. Well,
now,
it's
go
just
ahead.
great. It's just great to see that, you are doing everything you can to help promote the sport and to help give us more of a platform because I just feel like there's not um, enough like exposure of us.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and it's been great. Like even if there's not a lot of people that have been tuning in during, it's been great. People coming on after, and now I'm going to have an actual library and set up for Queens on our actual page, and I've
Cool.
progressed with this. So not only is this going to be as a standalone, but this is also going to be featured in our wrap up as well. So it's like there's so many different levels to how I feel I can leverage the media platform and BNN
Yeah.
to promote us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to do this, and it's actually inspiring me and kind of getting me a little bit more. I've
I'm
been lighting
sure.
a fire under my
I'm
ass.
sure.
I've been working. Trust me, I've been working. But I'm like, oh, I gotta get back out
I
there.
know. I know. That was my plan this year too, but then I'm like, fuck, I gotta get up there. Like I can't just sit this year out, not after last year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because when we talked like earlier in the year, I think I was still kind of deciding to take the year off. I don't quite remember, but
Yeah, no, that was the beginning of the year. That was like what, January. I think that was like right after Olympia. And
yeah,
and I thought maybe you knew it, but you were just being like low key about it. And I was like, because I was like, maybe Chelsea, I know how, maybe she could have, maybe she couldn't have. I was like talking to Josh, I'm not gonna lie. And I was like, and then I was like, maybe she did it, but for all I know is she was ready. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what we're gonna talk about, you know, you being prepared and you being ready, right? And so, what was prep like getting ready for this show?
so this one was a bit stressful only because last year I was so lean going into my pro debut and to Tampa that I have just been constantly comparing myself to like, oh, this is where I was at 6 weeks out from Tampa or from Chicago and comparing myself to 6 weeks out to Spain. Like I was, stressing myself out. But my coach had a plan in mind, and his plan was that I was going to be competing at the Olympia, and he didn't want to tire me out like we did last year with a really long season. And I was lean for most of the year, so his plan was to to have me still pretty fresh at the Olympia. But other than that, I mean, prep was smooth. I mean, I am thankful that I am able to focus on bodybuilding basically full time, and it really helps, honestly. But prep was good.
So what went into the decision to do the Europa show?
It was the last show to qualify, and it gave me just enough time to, get ready and have at least a little bit of an off season. Um, I wish I would have been able to have more time, but it doesn't matter because we pulled off what we needed to pull off, and that was the win. So
Yeah. So we, who is on Team Dion? Who?
it is my coach, Fasim Nasir. He's out in Dubai. We have been working together since early beginning of 2021. So he got me ready where I went pro. That was our first show together. And then all of last year, very successful. Can't complain. We just work super well together. I'm pretty easy. I'm not someone who's like very complicated or need much attention. Um, and it's been very, very easy. And I'm very thankful to have him. Of course, we have my boyfriend who is like a second set of eyes and like a coach as well. Um, he pushes me through my workouts every day. He makes sure I stay on my shit. He is really, really great with, a lot of things. So I'm really thankful to have his knowledge and his set of eyes to kind of keep tabs on me as well, like a second coach. And then we have my sponsors. So Radiant Physique Wear, she's my suit sponsor. And honestly, she is the best person ever. And I'm so thankful to be part of her team. And she's always ready to make me a new suit for every show. And for that, I am beyond thankful. And she's extremely talented. And yeah, and then we have Body Bling. I just became part of Team Body Bling. We have Amino Asylum and Blackstone Labs, and then also Karen Garrett, who is my like bodywork therapist. She is the best here in Vegas. She works on everybody: Nick Walker, Jen Dory, just absolutely everybody. And very thankful to have her in my corner. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I have, my girlfriends who are supportive. We got Amanda Machado and stuff. But you know how bodybuilding is. You want to keep your little.
Yeah, no, definitely. And pretty much you named everybody that most of the time when I just say who's on your team, it's who's helping you get ready for the show, who's helping you on your big day. So can you talk about
I forgot my posing coach.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
didn't hear. I wasn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I work with the real posing prodigy. His name is Jake. Um, I mostly hired him for my posing routine for Rising Phoenix. I saw him, I was even following him, but he popped up on my Explore page and he was posing to this song, and I was like, oh my God, like one, this song, I have to do it. Two, this guy's work is like unbelievable, and it's kind of the direction I'm looking to go. And so I hired him, and he started kind of working on my mandatories, and he's extremely like detail oriented, and he's really helped me fix some things that I didn't even notice with my posing. And so he's been really great to work with.
That's awesome. So do you have any creative input to your routines, or you kind of just let someone take the wheel and you and
This one for Rising Phoenix, he choreographed it. All of my other routines have been done with Sheila Bleck, who is an icon. She's a posing legend. Like, she's so great. But this time I'm just going a little different direction. So we went with Jake, and Sheila. The posing routine I did at Europa was the one I did at the Olympia and the Rising Phoenix last year, which was from Sheila.
oh, okay. So that's who did this last one. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to make up a new routine because I just wanted to focus on having an amazing one at Rising. And so I figured I would just, recycle a routine.
Yeah, that makes sense. So talk about the actual day of the show. Any highlights? Anything that stood out? You know, being at a show as big as the Europa Pro and being away from home. You know, can you talk about that? I mean, I'm sure it was a little bit different doing the show so far away as opposed to a stateside.
Yeah, so we left about a week before the show just because, like, one, this was the first time I'd ever been out of the country, really, besides going to Mexico a few times. So, my first international flight, and I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna hold water, this thing called jet lag. I don't know what that is, but I was like, I guess I should account for it. And so we got out there, and it was just so beautiful. Like walking the streets, it doesn't even look real. People don't open their stores until like 8:30. They go on these long lunch breaks and they come back to work. It's just so like laid back and just it was such a cool like experience. That was also one reason why I was like, you know what, I want to compete at that one because it's gonna force me to get my passport and force me to go explore new lands. But as far as like the show day, it was a little stressful in the morning because like getting a taxi is kind of like questionable sometimes. And my makeup was at like 5 in the morning. And so I get out there at like 4:30. I had a taxi that was already like pre-booked. And then of course they can't find me and there's all these drunk people outside still like trying to steal my taxi. And I'm like, it. And of course, like I don't have any cell phone reception, so I'm like trying to call another taxi. But we got there, and the woman who did my makeup was like phenomenal. I looked like my skin was just so perfect. Like she did such a great job. So I felt
That's the best
absolutely.
feeling because sometimes it can be a hit or miss.
Yes, and I was so worried because like I always work with Team V for my makeup here in the States, and they always do such a great job. So I was like,
It's
okay,
amazing.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about someone else out of the
Yeah.
country, and I'm very happy I worked with her because beautiful. Um, so let's see, show day. The venue was absolutely gorgeous, huge. There was like lights like going along the side that said like Europa and I really like the blue, like squishy flooring on the stage. But backstage, it was so hot and muggy and like just uncomfortable. We were laying on the cement floor back there. But it wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, unfortunately, thankfully. Um, and the show ran really smooth. Like instead of doing like a morning show and a night show. It was like pre-judging, went back, went through the classes, and then went straight into finals. So you weren't really sitting around for too long. And it was nice because I was able to finish finals, go get lunch, chill, go get dinner, and enjoy the rest of my day. Um, but yeah, it was good.
Do you think if there were anything, was there anything different, operation wise or anything like that that you maybe did get or didn't get from a state?
Um, Just
Or
I mean, I do. The only thing really different was the not the morning show and night show. I actually really did like that. Like, I kind of wish more shows were like that.
Mhm.
Um, but they were very similar to the shows in the States, except they spoke a different language, and like all the competitors were like from all these different places.
So had you competed with anyone on stage before, or was that your first?
Yeah, so Lisa Kudry, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so she was there. Um, she was the only person I had competed against. Oh no, and Virginia. Virginia,
Andrew.
I competed with her at the Rising Phoenix last year.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it was quite the lineup. And were there any moments leading up to your win where you were, or throughout the day, where you were kind of a little nervous, or how explain how you were feeling? Like,
Okay.
what were the vibes? What were the feelings?
So I was worried because one, I wasn't really liking exactly how I was physically looking.
Mm,
Um, I didn't really peak as well as I wanted to. I wasn't as lean as I wanted to be, those type of feelings that all of us competitors feel.
mhm,
And then as I was backstage, I'm looking at the other girls, and obviously like Jay and Victoria, um, and Virginia, they're like freaky conditioning, right?
mhm.
Um, and so I was a little worried, and they're really big. So I was kind of going into this show thinking, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Mhm.
Um, and if it wasn't meant to be, then you know what, off season starts sooner than sooner, and then I could get to work and bring the improvements. But um, once were once we did like that first call out, and then they moved me into the center, I was feeling pretty confident. But backstage, I couldn't get a pump. I felt like really soft, like no pop to me really. Like my glutes were really flat. So there's some things that me and my coach have to kind of figure out. But I know we will. Um, so yeah, after that, being in the center call out, I was a little more confident, but you still never know. You never know. And then right before finals, Emilio, the promoter, he came up to me and was like, "Congratulations." And I was like, is this, do I, am I thinking I'm gonna win? And so
Right.
when I won, it was a great feeling. He told me his daughter saw me and was like, "Oh my God, like that is a beautiful female bodybuilder. I love her suit." And he came over and introduced her to me and stuff, which was cool. Um, but yeah, I I definitely don't think it was my best look, but it was enough to get me the win. And I know at the Olympia I'm gonna look the best. So
So, you feel as though this kind of now, this has got you ready and prepared for the Olympia. Like,
yeah, yeah, I got like the first show jitters out. So Rising Phoenix will be good. I got the nerves out. And then 5 weeks later, I think, will be the Olympia. And so then I will come in even leaner, hopefully full, not so flat, um, and hopefully bring a higher placing home at the Olympia.
so what are you looking forward to? Of course, yes, you just said placing higher, but what are you really looking forward to aside from placement going to your second Olympia?
Just the whole experience in general. As well, like it's just such a privilege, to put the tracksuit on, to go to the meet the Olympians, to have all these people come and want to meet you, and people who've been following you for so long, and meeting other athletes that you are inspired by, it's that whole experience. You feel like almost like some type of like celebrity almost
Yeah,
in a
it was
way.
like a huge turn up, like a huge party, and it was
Yeah.
just yeah, yeah.
People come from all over the world just to watch us get on stage, and you're like a very small percentage of a big sea of pros who make it to the Olympia. And even this year it's even harder because you have to win a pro show, so
Yeah.
it's truly like an honor.
So that leads me to my like second to last question. How good does it feel to be a woman's bodybuilder now? Like, I mean, I feel like each year just gets a little bit more exciting in its own way. And especially we're getting more. I mean, this year I feel it was pretty much each show almost was not maxed out, but there was a lineup each show.
Yeah.
We were able to see women coming out, so we're showing better numbers, and that's exciting and promising.
That's exactly what we need, especially if we want to continue getting shows. We don't want them to cut more shows next year. We only have so many. So I'm glad that we're showing up. And that was one reason why I didn't want to compete, was because I was like, we have to show up this year, especially after them cutting so many of our shows. Um, so like Margie told me, she said, you better badge the fuck up. And I did. And, you know, here we are. So I forgot the question though.
How good does it feel to be a women's bodybuilder like now?
Well, it feels actually a little more special this time, I think, because at that show, competing against that different type of body and being a more smaller girl compared to them, and also not as freaky conditioned,
Mhm.
um, it it made me really happy to see that, like, okay, this is kind of like the direction that we're trying to go, and it's a little more geared towards your physique.
Mhm.
So it feels great to be a female bodybuilder right now, especially when your look is being favored, for sure.
So, what's your message for women and ladies coming into the game?
Don't be afraid that you aren't going to be too big, especially for women's bodybuilding. Um, you know, you don't have to be crazy freaky. Just have to have beautiful lines, good shape, great conditioning, and that femininity that really like stands out. And to fuck what people are going to say about you or think about you. We do this for ourselves. We don't do this for other people. I look the way I do because it brings me enjoyment, not because of what other people might think about it. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, so fuck the standards. Fuck, you just
do
be
you?
yourself. Do you, boo.
Yep.
That's the message. And that's, to me, that's a really good takeaway. And I'm sure that there are people out there that appreciate that because, you know, everybody has their opinion and view, right? Because this is a self sport where we want to look how we want to look.
Hmm.
Well, it's great that you're standing and you're making a statement saying, "Hey, this is how I choose to look." And if you're out there, you can do the same thing.
Yep. And also, I always tell everybody, and I say it often, show up and show out. You know, go up there, keep your head high, be confident, embrace like stepping on stage and showing off, you know. I don't think a lot of people like get on stage and they're very like timid, like very timid, kind of shy looking, but you need to step on stage like you are just ready to show everybody what you have. So you just show up and you show out and you take home some hardware.
Yes, I always say you are the show.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
You
So
got to
you
be confident.
exactly. Well, Chelsea, it's been great chatting with you, and again, keep doing you and keep inspiring. Congratulations on your win, going back to the Olympia. That's all for me, Danielle, Queens of the Olympia. Until next time, everyone, be good to yourself, and we'll check back next time. Thanks.
Thanks, Danielle.
You're welcome. See you guys soon. Bye.